than normal. No, not at all. No, we've attacked this week like we've attacked every other week. Training, playing, strategies, nothing's changed, except it's a shorter week, thankfully. First time this year. I haven't had a meeting with them.
You haven't?
No, not at all. My meetings with the players are about the strategies which have just concluded. So that meeting happened today. So I don't know where that right's come from. As in terms of my meetings. Pressure. I've lived with pressure. Well, no one plans, believe it or not, John, this might surprise you, but we don't practice turning the ball over. Yeah, still up for 30 years, John, so I guess that I'm probably a little bit more experienced than some other people that might want to comment about it. Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's fair to say that until you get... we couldn't accept last week for a start off. And there are certain periods through the first and second week where we've been very, very good and we've been very poor. We just haven't had that consistency. Those players that are out of the side this week, I think it'd be fair to say that Simon White's stiff because it was more about matchups. So he hasn't had the opportunity that the other players have had. But when you've got players, one's a leading goal kicker, one's got the potential to be a leading goal kicker, one's been around the football club for a long time, there are certain expectations that we have to have. And if we can't reach those expectations, then the reality check is perhaps go back, find your form in regard to those or that area and become more accustomed to what we expect. So, in fairness to Jeff, I think that he's probably still overcoming a shoulder. He's overcome the shoulder injury, but he's had it operated on. And anyone who's had a serious shoulder operation sometimes takes, it's like a knee, sometimes takes a bit of time to adjust to the physicality, adjust to getting your arm in the right position. And he's played with it for 3 or 4 years. It's not as if he's only had it last year. So it's a bit foreign to him to have had the operation and then to come out the other side and go, okay, well, now I can take off where I was last year. So, but in Jared's case, he's just got to. The expectations on Jared is this: he's got to kick goals, he's got to create opportunities. He's a player because he's been around the club for so long. Players look to him, so he's got to go back and find that form that gives the players in front of him the confidence that he is going to be able to take the mark, kick the goal, or contest the football. Anyone who sees themselves as going to be disappointed.
As a Carlton fan, a lot of...
You're a Carlton fan?
I might. No, but I do listen to quite a few on our station that called in and said that's, if you look to the future of the side, where the side's going, it's probably going to be... No.
The future is this weekend. We've got an eye on next year and the year after, that sort of stuff. You can't deny that, but that's... we're not here to... I'm not one that just goes, okay, look, we'll forget this year and we will stagger along and cop the criticism and get ready for next year. I don't believe in that. My obligation to this football club, which has been like this, any football club that I've ever been a part of, is that we will give of ourselves every week as best we possibly can, keeping in mind the future, yes, but not ignoring the immediate future. And the immediate future for us is right now. It's quote, it's not those that can inflict the most, it's those that can endure the most that will conquer. Terence McSweeney. You know him?
No, I do now.
Do you know who he was?
No.
Lord Mayor of Cork. Okay. So, and it's a great quote, because we're just going to endure. And we don't want to panic. We're not going to be panicked. We're not in a crisis. I've never seen to me, sport's not about crises, that sort of stuff. There's other things on this earth that are far more crisis-ridden, if you like. So we just make sure that we get back on the horse. The marking man is getting off the canvas. Not how many times you fall. Getting up, taking it. That's the way I've always treated my side. And that's why we have people, same sort of people, who continually want to test and question game plans or personnel or where I sit. But I've prevailed on one principle, that I'll keep having a shot, and I will make sure that my players that I select will keep having a shot at it, and they won't all pass. It's the effort to get back off the canvas and keep going, and override any doubts that may come from people who have got different agendas, and we just keep going. So that's where I never.
Mick, don't listen to it.
What I do here and what I do read, as soon as I look at the author, I straight away work out whether I need to read it or don't read it. I think you assess that after every week. I assess that in premiership years. Every week, you must assess where you're at. You assess two things. You assess yourself and you assess your opposition. And not on the day. You assess the opposition not of the day. So in other words, Melbourne this week, it'll be the whole 17 other clubs. To see, have they improved to a degree where you think, right, okay, we're just going along the same plane as them, or do we think we can get in front of them, or have they just sort of come out of the blue and, like Gold Coast and Greater Western Sydney, clearly are going to be sides that are going to improve, right? So therefore, can we improve at the same rate? If I don't attack the year, every week of the year until it's mathematically impossible to make the 8, then I let down so many people by just accepting where we are. I will never accept defeat, right? So therefore, the question is, we will keep going towards that goal until it's mathematically impossible this year. Then we'll assess ourselves the following year. So therefore, while we're still able to get out in that football field, still able to put 22 players out there that we've got great faith in, then we will continue to attack that window. He's Scotland's, like so many other boys, who's come off of a interrupted pre-season. He actually has just completed his pre-season, as have probably 3 or 4 others. So in other words, they've gone through a training program and a pre-season match program to get where they are. Who by? Who are the expectations by?
Internal expectations?
No. Internally, I'm very, very satisfied where we are. The list is the list.
But how much has your assessment changed in the last 14, 15 months?
I assessed the list 14, 15 months ago. Now, the list I've got in front of me is the list that we're working with. I don't wish for, I don't hope for, I don't pray for. I see the list as it is. And like the instructions to my coaches have not changed since game 1 in April 1984 at Footscray. Make the list better. That's the simple instruction from all our coaches, is make the list better. And the only way you can make the list better is have a realism of know where they are and work towards their deficiencies, and also encourage their strengths. So therefore the list, we're making a new player, a young player coming to the club tomorrow. He might start as an interchange, he might start as a sub. But we're adding another player to our list. And will he help us? Yes, he will. Will Heath Scotland help us? Well, he's done his pre-season, and we expect that he will. Will Casbolt help us after the last couple of weeks' performances in the VFL? Yes, he will. He's a very young 18-year-old from country Western Australia, spent a lot of time in Perth, leadership qualities over there, ball-getting power. He's... if you had to explain him to some of the old-time Carlton supporters, you'd say he's bigger than Big Nick.
It's a pretty big statement.
But he's not a ruckman. So yeah, we're really encouraged by this kid. The expectations will not be massive. Like any kid, I've never seen anyone, inclusive of Chris Judd or any first-year player, have a massive bearing on where you finish in the ladder. The most important thing is he knows his role, he fits in, gets games under his belt, and we can develop him from there. We're not going to be saying that he's we're throwing everything at him to say, listen, son, you're going to make us a better side every week of the year, because he's going to have his ups and his downs, and he may not even survive every game. He might play a couple and have a rest, but we are very confident that he is a player of the future for our football club. in more ways than one. Not only player, leadership, he's just a very, very good kid. And hopefully multiple position player outside of ruck.